I wasn't good enough at mixing in my mind to just become a mixing engineer, but I started calling myself that. Like, I changed in my Instagram, I was like mixing engineer. I was like mix artist. I was like, this is who I'm going to be, is I'm going to start marketing for that. So even before I was ready for it, I was like, all right.
Just jumped in.
Yeah, this is it.
Hey, Jess here, coming to you from Brooklyn, also known as my place of residence. I am meeting with incredible mix engineer, Shavon.
Also known as the mix artist.
The mix artist. So you are a mix engineer. So what does that mean? What do you do?
Oh man, what do I do? Okay, a little bit of wizardry, sorcery, magic.
All right.
But no,
Keep going.
ideally I try to just stay out the way.
Okay.
And remember to do that. So pretty much, if you have a good artist who delivered a great song, they pretty much tell you in the song, in the delivery, everything that you're supposed to do regarding the mix. My job is to understand the tools I'm using, my delay, reverb, and how to use that to achieve a certain effect.
Okay.
Pretty much to enhance what it is that they're trying to say. If I'm mixing one track for the first time ever, I want to hear what they've been listening to. A lot of times when you get a mix session, the artist has been listening to the reference mix or the rough mix that the recording and tracking engineer made. They've been listening to it for maybe weeks, months, even years sometimes. So they are very much attached to that. And even though they're saying they want to get it mixed, they really want it to sound pretty much identical to what they've been listening to, but only slightly enhanced.
Say you're hired, they send you the stems, drop them into Pro Tools. Where do you start?
Okay, well, the first thing I do is visually sometimes, or if the tracks are named, and hopefully they are, I can separate the instrumental from the vocals.
Okay.
Because I like to, the first thing I do is work on the mix for the beat. I'll just solo the beat right now.
Yeah.
Super simple. I love it, so it's not too much interfering with things. What I did notice that I wanted to change is that the hi-hats kind of stood out to me a little bit. So I just put a simple de-esser on there.
A de-esser?
Yeah, de-esser on the hi-hats to get just some of the high end out. But it kind of makes it a little less harsh. And I learned that from mastering engineers actually, because I would send them mixes and they'd be like, hi-hats.
Really?
Tune that down a little bit, yeah. That's a problem they tend to have. Other thing I wanted the bass, the 808 to stand out more, because that's the type of song this is. It's like a club record. So I'll take the kick out so you can hear just the 808. That's the 808 right there.
Interesting.
So,
That's so subtle.
yeah. What I did was I added a little distortion with the lo-fi plugin. Very slight distortion. Then I added an R bass. It actually adds frequencies that
It's like a
aren't
harmonic.
necessarily there. Exactly.
Okay.
So I'll actually turn this up louder
Yeah,
so
sure.
we can hear this.
Ooh,
This
you
is
can
without the
feel
R
it.
bass. Exactly. I don't have it doing too much. Just a little bump. And then I actually side chained.
Oh, you
Multi-band
side
compressor. I side chained it with the vocals so it didn't interfere too much.
Nice.
And I put a limiter.
And then you press.
Exactly. Just to
Nice.
bring everything up. Keep it at one steady volume.
It feels good. Like that's something you want to feel, you know?
Exactly.
Is that kind of something you look for when you're mixing an 808? How it responds to your body?
Yeah.
Yeah?
You want to feel the boom, but you don't want it to be like.
Yeah.
And also for my drums, I added a parallel compressor.
To all of them?
So yeah, I ran, pretty much running the whole drum bus through a parallel compressor. Right here. See, with the bass, I feel like it's not unbearable, but you definitely notice it when it's gone. Like this is no 808, but now it's in. It's like you can kind of like almost forget it's there sometimes. So for the parallel compression, I have all of my drums going through a drum bus right here, and then I have a send. I'm just sending the whole signal to my parallel compression bus, and on that bus I have the little EQ. super simple. A little boost
I
at
love
300.
this.
This is cute, right?
I use it all the time.
Yeah, tech plugins are crazy.
Cool. So you EQ'd the whole kit basically.
Exactly. Add a little low end, tiny bit of highs at 2K. And then they go through VCOM.
Yeah.
Slight light compression, just pretty much just touching it, tightening it up, and then I send it through. More
you go.
distortion is my favorite thing in the
I
world.
gotta try that.
You have to.
I don't touch this plugin that often,
Girl,
but I'm
I
inspired.
mean, it looks like it doesn't do much, but it makes a world of difference.
So when it comes to the mixing process, how much creative freedom do you grant yourself?
See, now that gets tricky. Now, a lot of that has to do with how well I know the artist too. Some people come to you not to be yourself, like not to say not to be yourself, but they come to you just to enhance what's already there a little bit.
Yeah.
Some people are like, yo, go wild. I want to hear what you have to say on this record. I'm like, cool. So it really depends. Sometimes I've made that mistake where I heard a record and I'm like, oh, this needs a stutter here, this needs a drop here, record stop here, needs reverse that, bang bang. I'm like, oh, this is jamming. I get it to the artist and they're like, no. So what I like to do, just off jump, put a little EQ, take out the low end that we don't need. And a lot of boots, especially like smaller ones, you know, there tends to be a buildup at around like 300 hertz. So it's a standard, yeah. I just know to go around that area, take some stuff out. And then this guy, he loves a lot of
I ain't
reverb.
playing fair, I'm always ski man. She wanna ask me why I'm always
Reverb.
leave on.
Yeah.
And my bitch no ballet.
Surprisingly, like I slept on Deverb for years. And then one day somebody was just like, no, Deverb is actually a good reverb. I was like,
no
oh,
phone
that's
says, just pull.
okay, so this is, I just call it a spread,
Yeah.
but I'll show you what it does. It pretty much, I have it routed to 2 different mono auxes.
Really?
Yeah, don't ask why.
What?
Like sometimes
Okay.
you just come across things you're like, okay, it's not broke, maybe unorthodox, but I'm not gonna fix it. It sounds all right. They're doing the same thing. They have the same plugins, except I have delays on them. And then on my left side, one delay is delay at 166.7 milliseconds. The other one is changed ever so slightly to 168.
I see.
Yeah, and
I see what you're doing.
yeah, actually I'll OG a little bit so you can actually hear it. That's what it's actually doing. So I'm gonna bring the beat back in and then lower it to taste.
I ain't playing fair, I'm always ski man. She wanna ask me why I'm always leave on. And my bitch no ballet.
Just gives it space.
When it's the
So at what point in your life did you decide to become a mix engineer?
Oh, okay. That happened very late. So there was a process. First, I thought I would be a drummer. I started playing drums when I was about 8 years old.
Okay.
Carried that all the way to college. I went to college as a music performance major, like to play drums and percussion. But my sophomore year, I ended up changing over to music engineering technology.
Okay.
It's because I decided that wasn't working for me anymore. And then
Interesting.
all I knew my whole life, like I just knew I wanted to do something in music. So I didn't really have any other hobbies or anything like that. I didn't know much about anything else. So my options were like freshman year, that summer, I was like, okay, I'm changing my major. What am I gonna do? It has to be in music. But then I was like, maybe I'll do business. I almost went towards the business route, but then I was like, that's not me. So I chose, I went to Hampton University. So the only other 2 options for music were a music education degree, 5-year. And I was like, I don't want to be a teacher, like not right now.
Yeah.
And then the other option was music engineering. And I was like, I guess I'll give it a go. I took a gamble pretty much because I knew nothing about like the recording studio. I never thought twice about the process to how my favorite songs were made. I didn't know what an engineer was. I didn't know anything about it. But then I started taking these courses, learning about it, and I loved it.
Do you leave all of these in stereo? Do you collapse any of these to mono or?
Depends on the session.
Depends on the session.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. In my early years, like this is something recent that I started doing, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna blame YouTube. So based on what I thought I knew about audio, I was like, okay, kick drum should be mono in the center, clap maybe mono slightly off or whatever, hi-hat mono, I can pan it, whatever.
Yeah.
And I would just go crazy with making certain elements mono, and then I realized that just because it's on a stereo channel, like, okay, well, like it's on a stereo channel, but it's still
Oh, it's not
very
really,
much mono. Yeah,
it's not feeding the sides at all.
no, exactly. And that's something I learned in recent
You
years.
should check it.
Exactly, exactly. So yeah, before you, and then I would do things like this,
Right.
which, you know, that's cool
You
too.
could work with it that way, but
Yeah.
in this case,
But
you're
in
just
this
kind of
case,
saving
it's
yourself
really-
time. Like,
Exactly.
so how do you know when a mix is finished?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've learned to, all right, in my mind, the mix is never finished.
Right.
There's always something that I could have done differently. But when I've pretty much gotten everything solid, I've gotten the instrumental solid, gotten the vocal solid, where nothing sticks out crazy, nothing
Yeah.
bothers me when I play it back. I'm not like, gotta fix that now. Like nothing's too harsh, things mesh. I can listen to it all the way through without like cringing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, let me send this into the artist now, because it's important to realize that, you know, it's a process. There are revisions, and you're working with someone else. So you might be working to perfection, spend 7 hours on a mix trying to get it to where you want it. Whereas you send it to an artist and they make requests and you realize, okay, they like what I did 6 hours ago. So I could have just sent that and saved some time in my life. So it's important to realize that it's a collaborative process, so it's not always about you. So sometimes, even though there are little nuances that you might not like, people might not, nobody really notices it. Like as an engineer, we're trained to hear certain things, and it's like sometimes you start tweaking a bit much and then you lose the vibe, the feeling of the record, trying to make things too clean and spread things out too far or whatever it is. So sometimes, you know, just, can I listen through to this? Does it feel the way it's supposed to feel? Am I helping the artist express what it is they're saying? Does it sound like it vibes, you know? And boom, send it, see what they say.
Born broke, but I'ma die rich. Used to dream about this before I even sold my eyelids. Jay got the plays, feeling like I'm Pat Riley. I've been on the coast trying to take a trip to Bali.
And my bitch no ballet, dancing on the dick when it's a bad day. I worry about myself, I can't make everybody happy. Brand new steez, low key, now they at me. No phone sex, just pull up cause we adapted. Grandma said I should've prayed to Jesus. Maybe that'll help me with my demons.